Hi everyone, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you how I made the Rosery Apparel Rosa dress. I made it in this really lovely line fabric, which I really love. So I printed out the pattern and cut it out, and then I taped it all together. Then I am lying it on the fabric and cutting out all the pattern pieces that I need. I just barely had enough fabric, and I think I had 2 meters of this linear fabric. It's like a cotton blend kind of fabric. So then I transferred all the darts onto the fabric where they need to be, and I marked them with my pins on both the front piece of the dress and also the back pieces of the dress. Then I am sewing all the darts into place with just a straight stitch. Here I am starting on sewing together the collar lining, and I'm doing this with a straight stitch and then a zigzag stitch. Then I am pinning the front and the back pieces of the bodice together at the shoulder seams, face right sides of the fabric facing each other. And I'm going to be sewing these together with a straight stitch and then another zigzag stitch. Here I am pinning the collar lining to the actual collar of the dress, and then I'm pinning them together, right sides facing each other. And I'm sewing this together with just a straight stitch. Making some little clippings because it's a circle, and I'm doing this so it will lie flat better. And I probably should have done this earlier, but I'm doing a little rolled hem on the actual collar lining, and I'm going to be sewing this together with just a straight stitch. Now I am ironing flat the collar lining so it will lay nicely on the bodice of the dress and you won't be able to see it. Then I am sewing together the side seams of the bodice. So I'm sewing the front and the back pieces together on the side of the dress with a straight stitch, and then of course a zigzag stitch as well. Or if you have an overlock machine, you don't have to do the zigzag stitch, you can just overlock it, which I don't have unfortunately, but that makes it a lot easier as well. Here I am doing a basting stitch along the top side of the sleeves, and I'm doing this on the widest stitch length of my machine, and I'm not back stitching when I start and when I end. And then I'm sewing together the side seams of the sleeves with a straight stitch and then a zigzag stitch as well. And to finish off the sleeves themselves, I'm doing a rolled hem on the bottom of the sleeve. I already knew that this was the length that I was going for, but you can also do this later on when you've tried on the actual bodice and know what length of sleeve you want to do. And I'm sewing this in place with a straight stitch. Then I am going to attach the sleeves to the bodice, and I'm doing this right sides facing each other again, and I'm pinning them in place, lining up all the seams, and then I'm gathering the top of the sleeve to fit the actual armhole. So there's going to be a little bit of gathering on top of the shoulder, which makes it a little bit nice and poofy. And again, I'm sewing this into place with a straight stitch and then a zigzag stitch. Here I am pinning the pockets to the skirt, and I'm pinning them on the back and on the front pieces of the skirt. And I'm going to be sewing these two skirt layers with a straight stitch and then a big zigzag stitch. And I'm folding open the pockets and then laying the front and the back piece of the skirt on top of each other. And I'm going to be pinning all along the side seam and then the pockets and down to the side seam again. And then we're going to be sewing this all together with a straight stitch and then another zigzag stitch. And now I'm also doing a basting stitch, just like on the sleeve, but now all along the top of the skirt. And then I'm gonna be laying these skirt pieces on top of the bodice, facing right sides facing each other, and I'm gonna be gathering the skirt until it fits the bodice, and I'm lining up all the side seams as well. And then I am sewing it together with a straight stitch. Then I'm going to be cutting away a bit of the extra fabric and threads hanging there. And then after that I'm going to be sewing a zigzag stitch on this as well. Now, instead of putting a zip into the dress like the pattern said, I'm going to be doing an open back dress, and I am folding a rolled hem right here on both of the back seams, and then I'm making some little strings. I think they were about 20 centimeters long and like 4 or 5 centimeters wide, and I'm folding them together and sewing them closed. And here I am pinning the strings that I made to the back side of the dress into the rolled hem. Initially I placed them really close to each other, but later on I placed one of them where my bra strap is, but I didn't end up filming that, and it's basically the same, so you can just decide where you want them to have by yourself. And then I'm sewing them into the rolled hem, and I'm sewing the rolled hem all along the back side of the dress on both left and the right side, sewing them closed all until the top of the dress, and then sewing the collar lining closed as well. Then I am sewing closed the back of the dress with a straight stitch and a zigzag stitch. And last but not least, I'm doing a rolled hem all along the bottom of the dress. So I'm just pinning this into place, folding it 1 centimeter, and then folding it over 1 more centimeter, and then sewing all along the folded edge. And then you have a very nice and finished dress. And then I am sewing a little button on the top of the dress at the back with a little closure as well, so it closes nicely at the collar of the dress at the back as well. And that's it. I really love this dress. It's super nice. It fits really nicely as well. I like the open back closure, and it's a really nice pattern, super easy to use, and I definitely recommend making it yourself. Yeah, I hope you liked this video. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I will see you next time. Bye bye.